Here we all are.
Here we are. How was that, Irene?
Well, what's there is the way knows the way. Because I'd had a conversation with Cherie where I was in breakdown earlier today, in kind of very big breakdown. And I had thought how I might how I might have that be part of what I was doing, but somehow that disappeared out of my head when I went to do it. But there was the opportunity to bring it in at a later, just to whatever degree at the later stage. But Barbara's an interesting character, isn't she? And Chris is so alive and.
Oh, it was beautiful. Like everybody who came totally supported this emergence of your precious work today. So I'm curious, like from the place of meltdown to actually having now delivered it, what would you say to the part of you that was having the breakdown, and now that you've created a breakthrough for yourself, what would you say back to that part to reassure yourself?
I'll just have a look at what part of it was, part of what it says.
So this is your writing.
Yeah, this is
when you had a conversation with the part of you that was.
It wasn't very long. It was
upset.
A conversation. If I may read it, it's not very long. Conversation with despair. I asked it, "Are you willing to talk?" I'm willing and will be crying. Despair said, "I get it. You're in deep doo-doo right now." Yes. Well, I've been there for. Despair said, "Well, I've been there for years and years on and off with times in between. It's true." I said, "You look like you are flexing your muscles. I'm amused," because I had an image of it. "I'm amused by what's going on. Just practicing for the next time." "Oh, bugger. You mean I'll be back there again?" "Yep." "Do I have to?" "Yes, because I'm part of the spectrum and you said you wanted to experience all of it, and there are two ends of the spectrum. Can't have the ups and downs, you can't have the ups without the downs, You sound lighter." "Well, D stands for drama, and right now you've been in drama big time." Despair said, "I'd rather have a bit of fun, play. How about we have a time limit? I know you've got things to prepare. Give me another 5 minutes. Go on for 5 minutes more of drama." And I smiled and, "You're lightening up. That's not what I'm supposed to be doing." "Okay," I said. "I give up. I surrender. Game's over." So,
Oh, I love how that dialogue between those parts and talking to your despair and finding humour and play as the outcome. It's like, well, that was what the session was about. So how entirely fitting that it sort of reminds me of what Samantha was saying on Friday about how we touch our despair or touch the base of our grief and push off from there, and it motivates us into creativity. And I'm telling myself that's what you did today. You just provided like such a playful, creative space for us to be in together. Yeah, Jez?
Thank you, Karen. Thank you for that.
Yeah, I thought it was I find creative strategy to connect you to another part of yourself that was having a bit of a hard time of it. Kind of a way of stepping back and being more of an empathic observer or inquirer, listening to that part of you, rather than trying to just medicate it or escape it, suppress it.
Thank you. That speaks to me too about the beauty of what it is to do this work and find our precious work. Like it does at times feel so we can touch despair and we can touch these emotions as the shadow side of attempting to express ourselves, and wanting to give up is a really common theme. Like facing into the wanting to give up and the despairing and the why would I even bother because there's too much imperfection here. Like that is just such a common theme among us. And to actually not only bring creativity and play alive by actually facing into that despair or into those shadow feelings, but to also have tools. Like you have writing, and you bring writing, and you brought it to me last night when I was having my mini melt about having red eyes and having.
How did you go?
Well, I wrote to my eyes. I had a lovely dialogue with my eyes, and they're improved today. They're definitely improved. So I'm wanting to say, you know, these play strategies to talk to the parts of ourselves that are struggling to integrate, like the beautiful story you read us it's a journey story, and along the way there are those struggles to integrate either other people's feedback or our own internal dialogues that want to interrupt the flow of the birthing of an idea. So I'm just wanting to say thank you for being so open with us about the fact that these ways of us really checking, does our purpose really call us? Because it needs to get us through these challenges. It helps us be courageous enough to lean in and have those courageous conversations with our despair.
Yeah, I can't. The funny thing is, it didn't feel like it was, the despair was about doing the event. It wasn't like, oh, I'm really nervous and I don't want to do this and I'm afraid of making a mistake. And maybe that's maybe that's true and all underneath hidden or whatever, but it didn't feel like that. It felt like a very overall, all-encompassing, not like, it wasn't about the presentation. It was about who I was being. Like I did not feel like I was living a life that sings. And it seems like that if you're not living a life that sings, how can you? I wasn't even thinking that in my head, but that's kind of what the experience was like.
Like an imposter syndrome got hold of you and sunk your whole life and made it impossible for you to imagine being someone who delivered a life that sings as a conversation. Like, and I would name similar experiences that I've had as my inner saboteur, who goes like, it's too scary for you to go do what you're about to do. Can I just sabotage you and put your attention way over there on something that's completely unrelated, seemingly, and then having this like, how could I pull the rug out from under you the most effectively, and that it's trying to keep me safe, and that each time it's attempting to do that sort of sabotage, it's trying to keep me safe. So it occurs to me that even though they don't seem as related, I wonder if at some level they were.
Yeah, it was, like I couldn't, well, I was unwilling to listen to people who were sharing this morning from a life that sings, how great, you know, what amazing things had happened, and, you know, I couldn't be with their successes or their how they were feeling. I was clear that I didn't give a damn about how anyone else felt. You know, it was kind of really, that's what I noticed myself say, that I just don't care what anyone else feels like or what's there for them. I was too much in myself, you know, like so engrossed.
It was interesting at the end you held up the care card and said, I don't think there was sufficient care. So you didn't have the space to care about other people's, you know, whatever they were experiencing and celebrating. You needed some more care here for you.
Yeah, because one of the things that I've noticed is since I've been doing the life that sings and getting up early, I've hardly been drinking any water. And it's like, I just don't want to. I just don't feel like it. And of course, I'm also getting, tired out of it because I'll go back to bed and I'll get a few hours sleep. It's not too bad because I might get 2 or 3 hours sleep in the morning, and I might have had 3 or 4 hours sleep before I got up to it. So it's not that, but who knows what else is going on when you're doing courses? What else is going on?
I wonder if there's any sort of last piece of word of advice or support for facilitators still to come in the program, whether or not there's something you would say about bringing play, bringing this wisdom that you've in the last, just in today, what you've been through.
Well, I suppose it's in the realm of care, care.
Our fundamental care is care of ourselves and care of the people that are going to be impacted by the work that you did today. You had a creative and playful impact, and we all left the call really smiling and joyful, and that I'm wanting to say that you navigating your challenges today was a gift to all of us, and something about how care ended up being the word that resonated out from the choices you made to come back in alignment. Like, there's all the conversations about what trauma does to the brain, and when we go back into that amygdala fight flight, we can't do that frontal lobe thinking that enables us to have an impact of care. So somehow you got yourself back online with the writing and showed up for us. I just want to say thank you.
I mean, I remember,
and it was quite a playful. The writing piece was quite playful. Like, it wasn't downwardly, inwardly, throbbingly serious and dramatic. Your conversation with that part of you was quite playful and humorous.
Yeah, thank you. It's kind of, I'm a bit like, I just don't know how it all works, but it's kind of as, I've got as much capacity to explain it as I have got to explain that. David would probably give me a good lesson in why that works the way it does. But I actually, I'm quite happy. I'm quite happy with the mystery of it.
Yeah, mystery goes so far, doesn't it? It's so much imbued in this playfulness, is being in the mystery of it.
And even the what part do our ancestors play? Like.
Yeah, that was a gorgeous piece.
Yeah,
I love that so much. Wow. Well, thank you, Irene, and thank you
so much.
Back in to support this facilitator's interview. It's been really
fun.
Thanks. So thank you, Cherie, for your. Well, what I noticed was that you were not swayed by the place that I was in. You just you were compassionate, but you were not getting in the gutter with me. And thank you, Karen. And I'll appreciate David and when he said, "Oh, we'll set it up on a different computer," because it was on mine. It's still jerky, the speed or whatever is not. And I do want to assert myself and not have to deal with that. I do not want to deal with that. I want effectiveness, and whether it's I buy another computer or something or other.
It does make a difference. The tools we're now using have become critical in terms of our ability to be connected so we can be connected.
Yes. And the ease, like I think Sharia, you know, I'd love some lessons, and I thought this about you. I'd love some lessons on Zoom, you know, so that I can, you know, build my skills around that.
Maybe the whole community. There's actually quite a lot of curiosity about building our skills on Zoom. So, like, I think that's possibly something we can all look at together. On the other side
that would be really, really good. I don't know how many people you'd want to have on one, you know.
In a learning class. Yeah. And I'm not too sure who might love to bring that forward. Like, I support the technology and really appreciate what it does. It's not my first passion though. So I would love for anyone in the community or a friend of a friend who really loves who would enjoy guiding us in some Zoom learning. That would be wonderful if that ended up coming on board. So thanks everybody.
Cool.
You both.
Thank you. Big hugs. Bye for now.
Bye.
Bye bye. Bye.